So it's no secret that there are gender inequities within STEM. And so I was wondering if you could tell me about a time when you felt disadvantaged because of your gender and what advice you could give young women who might be discouraged from entering a career in STEM because of this inequity.
Yeah, I've heard stories about other women, but actually, I've been very lucky to not experience anything around that. My parents have been very liberal and they have given me all opportunities equivalent to any other gender. I worked in one of the companies which are very supportive and provide sponsorship for women, both at Goldman Sachs and Google. So, I've been very lucky to work with those companies. Having said that, I did encounter early in my career where I felt at disadvantage because um, that was though my lookout is what I would like to say, like my voice not being as loud or dominant in a meeting, or I not being as tall as everybody else in the meeting, right? So those things were what I thought initially early in my career are working against me. But slowly I realized that in the long run, none of that mattered, right? And it was totally incorrect lookout from my perspective. And nobody else in the room felt the same way. It literally boiled down to what my opinion was and what value I brought to the team. And then it didn't matter how loud I was. It didn't matter how dominating I was. People would keep quiet and look towards me for an opinion. And that was what when I realized like none of that mattered. It was all in my head. So it was really not really an answer to your question, um, but something which I felt initially that is going against me, but wasn't really. So I think keeping open mind, right, and having not feeling um, daunting when you are not as tall in the meeting, or you are not as loud in the meeting, or you are not talking about sports in the meeting, is okay, right? It's you are going to get different perspectives to the table, and you are going to get valued for that, and that is what you should remember rather than these other things which really don't matter in the longer run.
Yeah, no, that's very good advice. I mean, even if you haven't had a circumstance of that, realizing that, you shouldn't change yourself to better fit in with the men at the table because you are different. You're going to have different points of view, and you're going to bring different things to the table. And so celebrating that and accepting that is very, very important, I think. So
Yes. Mm-hmm.
thank you. And my next question is, what do you think the largest breakthrough will be within STEM in the next 10 years, and how do you think it will influence the next generation of young women?
10 years with technology progressing so much, I think 10 years is going to be a long time. But even in the next few years, I think just the innovation, like ability to bring innovation to the world, right? Like when I was young, which is when I learned about games, the story told you like few minutes before, it was just simple games on computers, right? That's where I got inspired from. And now in this, you add 15 years to it, and it's like, okay, self-driving cars, personal assistants, cryptography, right? The digital currencies. So I think that is what is paving the new world, right? And it is, and I feel so excited to be part of this. So where this is going next in like 10 years, I think it's going to be the digital world, right? And engineers are going to contribute and have dependency on others life so much, that now being part of that innovation and being part of the history is what we're talking about in this age, right? So everybody in STEM uh, should be very excited about being part of this history and contributing towards this, because there is so much to do that I can't even see what 10 years will look like, because it's going to be so different with the pace of how things are moving at this point.
Yeah, no, that's so true. And I think what's interesting is that a lot of the engineers that I've interviewed have said things about how quickly everything's going to move, but no one's really touched on what that's going to mean for the actual engineers and the people in STEM. And it's going to mean that they're going to become even more valued and even more important and even more integrated to everything, to even jobs that don't right now involve STEM, they're going to be needed. And so I think that's something really important that's going to happen in the next 10 years, just the increased necessity for jobs like that.
Exactly. Like I read that analytical thinking, which STEM like really encourages you throughout the curriculum is what is going to be valued more and more. And building upon that at early in your career is going to be so helpful. So I would like to encourage all the girls to be, just focus and just be very motivated to do something and contribute back to the progress of human generation.
Yeah, I completely agree.